Good day, everyone. My name is Jade J. Downey, and I'm going to discuss about the laws regulating tour and travel services on Chapter 9. For the learning objectives, enumerate the procedure in setting up a travel agency, identify the responsibilities of a legitimate travel agency or tour operator, then differentiate ethical from unethical practices by travel agencies and tour operators. For the topic outline, nature and description of the business, accreditation of travel agencies and tour operators, accreditation under the International Air Transport Association, airline appointed services, travel sales intermediary, accreditation of tour guides, responsibilities of business entities engaged in travel and tour services, prohibition against engaging in recruitment activities, and then e-ticketing and e-commerce. As part of our tourism industry, the pivotal role of travel agencies is regarded as revenue support of the nation's economy. Considering that our tourism industry has already become a matter of public interest, it calls for its promotion and regulation by our government. So the laws regulating travel and tourist services in this chapter involves in implementing rules and regulations by the Department of Tourism and Supreme Court decisions which define the nature of the business of travel agency and tour operator. Nature and description of the business. The law. Tour operator shall mean an entity which may either be a single proprietorship, partnership, or corporation, regularly engaged in the business of extending to individuals or groups such services pertaining to arrangements and bookings for transportations and accommodations, handling or conduct of inbound tours, whether or not for a fee, commission, or any form of compensation. Tour guides shall mean an individual who guides tourists, both foreign and domestic, for a fee, commission, or any other form of lawful remuneration. A travel agency's covenant with its customers is to make travel arrangements in their behalf. A travel agency's services includes procuring tickets and facilitating travel permits or visas, as well as booking customers for tours. The relation of a travel agency with respect to a common carrier is that it merely acts as an agent of the common carrier. So under the Republic Act number 8239, also known as the Philippine Passport Act of 1996, renewal of application for the issuance of passports may be filed by any licensed travel agency duly accredited by the Department of Foreign Affairs, provided that the agent shall be responsible for the authenticity of the supporting documents being presented to meet the requirements for the application of passports. Accreditation of travel agencies and tour operators. So in Section 2, who may apply for accreditation? The following may apply for accreditation as tour operator and travel agency, such as a resident Filipino citizen, or a partnership organized under the laws of the Philippines at least 60% of its capital being owned by Filipino citizens, and corporations organized under the laws of the Philippines at least 60% of the subscribed common or voting shares of stocks of which is owned by Filipino citizens, and the composition of its board directors being at least 60% Filipino. So in Section 3, for purposes of accreditation, the following are the supporting documents to be submitted with the applications. So first, in case of a single proprietorship, a business name, certificate, and all amendments thereto. In the case of partnership or corporations, a certified true copy of the articles or partnerships or incorporation and its bylaws and amendments thereto duly registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Then complete list of its executives, officers, and employees, tour guide and travel representatives, if any, indicating where therein their nationality, home address, and experience, including names and establishments previously or currently affiliated with, position, and length of service. Then for alien officers and employees, valid visa from the Bureau of Immigration and the proper permit from the Department of Labor and Employment. Next is the latest income tax return and audited financial statements reflecting a minimum working capital of 500,000 pesos, an annual performance report of the sales production, and a tariff sheet detailing services, rates, validity, terms or conditions, and responsibilities, and such other documents that the department may require from time to time. In Section 4, additional requirements for the tour operator using a motor vehicle. No tour operator shall use any motor vehicle while conducting tours or transporting tourists unless such motor vehicle is accredited with the department and sporting a tourist plate. In Section 5, minimum office requirements. The tour operator shall comply with the following office requirements, such as it must be easily identifiable and shall be used exclusively for the tour operation business, and it shall be located in a commercial district and not in a residential district. Accreditation under the International Air Transport Association, or IATA. So IATA credits two distinctive types of travel agencies, such as airline appointed agencies holding ticket stock or capable of e-ticketing, and all other categories of travel agencies called travel sales intermediary agencies. So essentials to both programs is a set of objectives with appropriate business standards that travel agencies must meet. For the airline appointed services, when a travel agency is appointed by the airlines through IATAN, the owner enters into an agency agreement with one or more IATAN's 79 customer airlines. Each airline sets its own standards for appointing travel agencies, and each airline may select any number of appointment criteria. Travel agencies receive a remuneration, generally in the form of commissions on the sale of air transportation services. The rate of commission is set between the individual agency and each airline. And any travel agency holding standard or airline ticket stock or capable of e-ticketing may apply as IATA. Kalimut ko, anak. Any travel agency holding standard and airline ticket stock or capable of e-ticketing may apply as IATA airline appointed agency. The standards for accreditation will be based on the following: a managerial qualifier, a full-time person authorized to make managerial decisions and exercise daily supervision of the location, and who has had at least 2 years full-time employment within the last 10 years in a managerial position at an accredited agency or corporate travel department, or in a passenger air transportation sales capacity at an airline, or at least 3-year full-time employment within the last 10 years as a sales counselor at an accredited agency or corporate travel department, or in a passenger air transportation sales capacity at an airline, or at least 4 years full-time employment within the last 10 years in a managerial position in a travel-related business, such as hotel, cruise line, or a tour operator that offers travel services to the general public. Then, technical qualifier, a full-time person who performs or supervises the performance of all technical aspects of selling commercial air transportation. He must have at least 1 year full-time experience in this field within the last 3 years at an accredited agency or an airline or a corporate travel department. Travel sales intermediary. So it is a business, a proprietorship, a partnership, or a corporation that is engaged in the sales and brokerage of travel and travel-related services, such as cruises, tours, hotels, car rental, bus and rail transportation. TSIs do not hold airline agency appointments or issue airline tickets. So any businesses who wish to obtain accreditation by IATAN as a TSI is required to meet the following standards. So first is the owner of the business has been registered with an IATAN for 2 of the past 3 years and was eligible for an IATAN ID card and earned at least $20,000 in each of those 2 years from the sale of travel and travel-related services, or the business is considered a home-based travel agency and the owner has invested or has committed to invest a minimum of $10,000 in the travel business, or the business has been in operation for at least 1 year immediately prior to application and produce at least $20,000 in gross travel income, or $200,000 in gross travel sales in the previous 12 months, or the business has been in operation less than 1 year and the owner has invested or has committed to invest a minimum of $25,000 in the travel business. Accreditation of tour guides. In Section 9, requirements for issuance of accreditation, an applicant for accreditation as a tour guide shall submit the following. So first is a proof that applicant has passed a seminar for tour guides duly conducted by the Department of Tourism or other agencies, duly authorized by the Department of Conduct the seminar, provided, however, that this requirement may be waived by the department where the applicant possesses special academic or professional qualifications relevant to tourism. Then next is Certificate of Good Health issued by any duly accredited government physician. So then the clearance from the National Bureau of Investigation in the case of alien applicants, valid visa from the Bureau of Immigration, and the proper permit of the Department of Labor and Employment. Then next is mayor's permit or municipal license. Then latest income tax return, and then such other documents that the department may require from time to time. So the above are the minimum requirements for accreditation as a tour guide by the Department of Tourism. So it is vital that an accredited tour guide must have passed a seminar for tour guides duly conducted by the Department of Tourism of its duly agencies. Responsibilities of business entities engaged in travel and tourist services. The travel agencies need to take necessary precaution by exercising prudence and due diligence at all times. Under the present state of the law, extraordinary diligence is not required in travel or tour contracts. However, the travel agency acting as a tour operator must nevertheless be held to strict accounting for contracted services, considering the public interest in tourism, whether in the local or in the international scene. Prohibition against engaging in recruitment activities. So in Article 26, the travel agencies are prohibited to recruit. Travel agencies and sales agencies of airline companies are prohibited from engaging in the business of recruitment and placement of workers for overseas employment, whether for profit or not. So in addition, the rules and regulations governing overseas employment provide for the following who are disqualified to participate in the recruitment and placement of Filipino workers overseas. So number 1 is travel agency and sales agencies of airline companies, and 2 is officers or members of the board of any corporation or members in a partnership engaged in the business of a travel agency. Then lastly is corporations and partnerships, when any of its officers, member of a board or partner is also an officer, member of the board or partner of a corporation or partnership engaged in the business of a travel agency. E-ticketing and e-commerce. E-ticketing is one of the most significant opportunities to reduce costs and improve passenger convenience. It reduces ticket processing charges, eliminates the need for paper, and allows greater flexibility to the passenger and the travel agent to make changes on the itinerary. So the under Republic Act of 8792 in June 14, 2000, also known as the Electronic Commerce Act, an electronic document, refers to information or the representation of information, data, figures, symbols, or other modes of written expression, described or however represented, by which a right is established or an obligation extinguished, or by which a fact may be proved and affirmed, which is received, recorded, transmitted, stored, processed, retrieved, or produced electronically. So the confirmation document in its e-ticketing constitutes an electronic document by which a right is established or an obligation is extinguished. It is already equivalent to a passage or airline ticket in a contract of carriage, which can be classified as the best evidence in proving that a contract of carriage exists. Consequently, electronic documents shall have the legal effect, validity, or enforceability as any other document or legal writing, provided the said electronic document maintains its integrity and reliability and can be authenticated to be usable or subsequent reference. For evidentiary purposes, an electronic document shall be the functional equivalent of a written document under existing laws. So let's end this topic with a quote. The only way to do great work is to love what you do, from Steve Jobs. So when you love what you do, you naturally put in more effort, creativity, and passion, leading to exceptional results. Enjoying your work makes challenging, and it feels like opportunities rather than obstacles, keeping you motivated and resilient. True greatness comes from a deep connection to your craft, driving you to continuously improve and innovate. So thank you everyone for listening in my report, and once again my name is Jade Claire G. Downing, and I'm from BSHM 3A, and thank you for watching.